Great to see you.
Likewise, I'm so happy to be part of this call and of everything that you do for us, Lori. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for showing up. Will you tell people a little bit about like what was going on for you before you, because we've done sessions, you've been on lots of my
Yeah.
retreats. You were back before the Sacred Visionary Mentorship was called the Sacred Visionary Mentorship. I used to call it Ascension Support Group, the Ascension
Yeah.
Support Group. You've been in a couple of those. Will you share about your
Mhm.
experience and help people know more about how it helps you and how it has served you on your journey so people can get an understanding?
Yes. So first, my honey is the one actually that first sent me on an interview that you had done with somebody. I can't remember the name. So, and he was like, honey, this lady has a similar background to you. She was in corporate America, and she was stressed out and then she got out of it and she has this, I think you might enjoy it. So I listened to you the first time and I was like, just connected to you right away. And then I started looking at all your YouTube videos and everything else that you had out there, went to your website. And then I saw, so what I was doing, I was I was working on first having a better relationship with my mother, and with some of my family members. And I was reaching out to find out what can I do? How can I do this? And I was seeing a, a therapist, for 2.5 years, and that had helped me a lot. And I think at that time I was able to open up a little bit more. And I was looking more not for the medical side of therapy, but more for the spiritual side of therapy, or the spiritual side of my being, of who I am. And that's what I was able to explore and work and continue to work with you, Lori. So my first time that I met you is in the Sedona retreat. And another friend came with me. And actually, this past weekend, she was reminding me how on that retreat, I didn't ask very many questions. Like I know you work with everybody, and I think I was still in my little shell and I was afraid. And but I was absorbing like everything that was happening that other people were sharing. It was benefiting me, but I was having a hard time talking. And I think it was part of my throat, my voice. I've been learning that it had been suppressed through whatever anger, things that I need to still work on and resolve. But what you and then I did some sessions with you, and actually, I got engaged and I got married as I was working with you. And I remember always you said to me, Roxana, you're worrying a little bit too much about what everybody else is thinking. And you know what? What other people think of you is none of your business. And that stuck with me for a long time because, but then, like in the call, we were talking about mirroring. I realized that I was seeing, like you said, unresolved parts of myself and other people. So when I started identifying that and working through that, then I could have more peace for myself and I could have more understanding and I could have more love and compassion. And what I saw is that as I change, everything around me changed. Like everything changed to be really wonderful. So, really damaged and broken relationships are just beautiful, loving relationships today. So I can tell you as a testimonial that doing the work, going to the retreat. I love the retreats. I love this. I like smaller retreats. I know that. So I like it like less than 20 people, but I've been to one that was like 40 people and I realized, I think I like the smaller retreats better. And you are very generous, Lori, with your time, and you're very open and giving, and like we have to like stop you for you to take a break during the retreats because you're like, you just keep going and going. And we're like, she has to be exhausted. And now I also realize just the energy, the energy, you hold energy for us, and I am very I have a lot of gratitude and love for you because you hold a lot of energy for me personally. So thank you.
Wow, I'm so glad. Roxana, you know what?
Yes.
What I remember most really was the
Mm-hmm.
time you were working on the mother stuff
Yeah.
with regard to the wedding. And that whole
Yeah.
thing went so well for you. Do you remember that? Like there were a
Yes.
lot
So
of
yeah, and I'll
relate.
share with that because my mother really did not have my father and my mother were divorced and they were able to talk to each other at one point and now they're not. And I really wanted my father to be at the wedding. And it was during COVID. It was Christmas Day, December 25th, 2020, when we got married. And we could only have 10 people in the house. So we literally only had 10 people in my house. And just for a point of reference, my mother lives less than 3 miles away from my house. But my mother chose not to come to my wedding. And I was okay. I knew that she was not going to come, but she was invited. She helped me alter my wedding dress. But then she chose at the last minute not to come. And then in our session, Lori, we contacted my higher self and my mother's higher self. And what we realized is that both of our higher selves knew that for the wedding day, her 3D person might not have been able to hold her emotions to see my father with his second wife. So, in order to give me a beautiful day, it was best for her not to be there. So, it was at first, it was kind of like, oh, because if you tell people, oh, my mother was not at my wedding, everybody's like, oh, what happened? Poor you. But it was actually a collaboration between my mother and my higher self for me to have the best day, the best experience that day.
But
But
what
she
was
was
real?
still present via Zoom because I had a lot of people via Zoom.
Yeah.
So but not until we had that session, Lori, and it was after the wedding that we realized that. And then now I can see it that yes, it was going to be the best option. And I was able to have the daddy daughter dance and be relaxed. My brother is gay and his partner was there and my mom doesn't really accept that relationship. So everything just worked out really great, for
Mm.
the people that were
Yeah.
there, which
I mean, I
was,
think that was the big thing because you went through that wedding
yeah,
years, you had stress before, and when it happened, you were able to, it was a great wedding. Like you were so happy. It went
yeah,
as well as it could go. And we were
yes,
doing a lot of work leading up to that just to help it be that,
yes. Yeah,
Overall,
because I was a little bit of a wreck before that. I
okay.
was like, do I tell her? And I tell her, do I do
Yeah.
this? Do I do that? I just had a lot of noise, had a lot of noise and stress
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I wanted everybody to be good,
Mm. You were
and
like a bride. The other thing I just want to say is overall, in the years that I've known you now, because it's been a while,
yeah,
that was that one window of time, but overall, you have really blossomed. You have,
no,
do you know that about yourself? Like that's why I asked you to be here because I just think you have really transformed. Even your sharings are always so full of so much love and joy. Like I think that witnessing you in your
mm-hmm.
blossoming has been really a beautiful thing to witness.
No,
And
thank you.
yeah, thank you. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for
no,
sharing.
I feel good. The people that are on the call, I know there's people's always hesitations, but I mean, I have seen other people as well explore, and like Lori says, there's a lot of people that are fakey, so to speak. But I just highly been, I guess, just received a lot of support and love and tools, the downloads, the DNA activations. And sometimes at the beginning of the calls, I'm like, I don't know. I think my body's tingling, but I'm not sure. You know what I mean? But then as you do more, you realize, yes, and I love that you said about the telepathic, because I do that a lot now with my husband. Like I just look at him and I'm trying to tell him, and it's amazing that since we're both in the same space, we can, like, he'll be like, oh, you need to go to the bathroom. And I'm like, how do you know? Yes, I do need to go to the bathroom. And it's just little, even simple things like that.
Well, I mean, because the big picture is it's helped improve your relationship with your husband, right?
Yes,
Really.
with him
All
and with
right.
my whole family. Yeah, with everybody.
That's awesome. I'm so
Yeah, which
glad.
and we still have. I don't want you to think it's perfect. It's not. There's always little things here and there, but at least we can have a common ground of understanding, and have a talk,
So
communicate,
you
and
overall though, I guess it's like the idea is to help people understand is
mm-hmm.
just more about that these practices are working for you. They're helping improve your life, right? I
Yes.
don't mean to lead you, but I want people to get what I think what I'm, that's like my thing. I'm paraphrasing for you in a way.
No, no, you're right. No, definitely. And yes, and I can see a change in my life and my outlook and how I deal with in the world, and what I want to do in the world, it's changed through the time that we work together.
I'm so glad, Roxana. Thank you so much for coming on. It helps people to
Sure.
understand because
Mhm.
a lot of people don't. I mean, just to me, energy work, like my reality, this is my reality. Everything
Mhm.
I do is about energy. I navigate with energy. I'm navigating in a whole different way. I
Mhm.
see and perceive reality very differently. I know I get that I'm one of those light leaders who is sort of like paving the way on this to help
Yeah.
others kind of enter into this experience that is so much more enjoyable overall. And I get
Mhm.
it. I tell people all the time, it's not a pill. I've said that a gazillion times. It doesn't happen
Yeah.
overnight and it's not overnight. It's not like but it is a process that happens over time that is a continuous improvement over time. And the
Yeah.
time doesn't have to take a long time. It's just that we're on an evolutionary journey. And I think it's to me, it's not optional anymore for us to continue to do this. It is a requirement for humanity's evolution. The only
Yeah.
other option is to continue suffering. That
Yeah.
that's
And
also an option.
yeah, and I can share that, before, like, I will start talking about it, and sometimes my sister or my brother will be like, oh, she's, it's Roxana, she's somewhere.
Right.
But now it's like when I start hearing them talk about, oh, your consciousness, and it's just like, it's so rewarding. Like, I just feel like my heart just feels, like when I hear my sister go through her growth and I can see it in her. it's
Mm.
it's very beautiful.
That is a wonderful example of the ripple effect.
Yeah, it
That
really
is
is ripple.
people,
Yeah.
that's the number one thing, like on a personal level, people want
Hmm.
so much. They want to help their loved ones.
Yeah.
And they very often they try to persuade their loved ones about these new ways of thinking and being. And the persuasion game doesn't work. You just have to become it. You start being it. And that's what you just said. You were like, oh, that's just Roxana, because you were just being it. And as you
Hmm.
continue just being it, now it's positively affecting them too. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Roxana, thank you so much for coming on
Thank
today. I'm so
you.
grateful to
Sure.
you, and you look so beautiful. Thanks for showing up
Of
and
course.
always for being around. I love you so much.
I
All
love you
right.
too, Lori. Thank
All right.
you.
See you next
Bye.
time.